that forehand. He could see that Spadea wasn't going to get it back, so why bother to go into the net?
Delana Mulcahy, Pete's girlfriend.
Well, I think those are the sort of risks. He's got to try and imitate Agassi. Not in anything but Agassi's game, I hasten to add. Because he plays like Agassi. He's not going to be able to suddenly change into a massive server.
Unlike his opponent, a sixth ace.
Yes, the encouraging thing, or the only encouraging thing perhaps for Spadea, is that he hasn't had much success against big servers in the past. He's lost to Philippoussis and Todd Martin and even Ivanisevic, but he did beat Krajicek here.
The crowd love that. A hell or high water shot.
Yes, down the middle from Mrs. Little here, Sampras. Not a lot of power, not a lot of angle, but what a blinder. He hugs the backhand, plays it quite close to his body. He thinks it's his best shot.
Well, it's a couple of backhands that Sampras has missed on fairly key stages. Remember, there was one at deuce in the last game. Careful, Vincent. You don't want to imitate Andre in certain other regards. I think a string has departed.
Certainly has. Well, this is a prime opportunity now for Spadea. He wants to get all his act together now. Because Sampras is bound to take a little bit off the second serve. New racket, of course, they're so professional these days that one racket is a carbon copy of the next.
No, that's waste, isn't it? Sampras did take something off it. Second double fault.
Sampras didn't seem too happy with these balls. Of course, their new balls are due in couple of games. They've played what, 59,
this is the 14th.
This is the 15th game. So one more game and they'd be changing. These will obviously be showing a little bit of wear and tear.
Well, you feel that if Spadea was really going to get back into this match, he really had to take advantage of the half chances he had in that game. Am I imagining things, or does Sampras look suddenly a little under the weather? He seems to be taking his time around. I'm just wondering whether he had that trip, presumably to the bathroom, whether he's slightly got an upset stomach or something like that.
It could be. The thought did cross my mind too. I just wondered whether it was perhaps trying to play within himself, trying not to expend too much energy, seeing that he was on top doing what he's been doing. Why change?
No, he's just pushed it long. Well, plenty of energy in that point from Sampras and from this young man.
Well, it looks a look-alike. Looked a bit like Spadea's father there.
Yes, I confess I don't know Vincent Senior, so it might well have been. Oh, there you are. Speed isn't everything when it comes to aces. Only 87 miles an hour.
There's hope for you yet, Mercer.
Oh, I can't serve that fast. Well, Sampras will have the benefit of new balls, but while you take this break, we'll be keeping a close eye on Sampras. 4-3.
Great television pictures.
Dowie.
But where do you read about European sport? The European is the only English-language weekly newspaper circulating throughout Europe. Every issue has 3 broadsheet pages devoted to sport. European sport, motor racing, football, rugby, tennis, athletics. It's all in the European. In-depth and written by respected journalists from across the continent. The European. Get it where you are today.
Back to the Lipton Championships live with Expo 2000.
Sampras with new balls, serving at 4-3. He gets the first serve in, it's pretty lethal. During the changeover, he did drape a soaked towel, one that he'd asked the ball kids to put in water for him over his head. So I still have my little theory that he may be feeling a little under the weather. Third double.
Yes, what they very often do is dip it into the ice bucket so that it's not only wet but also very cold, bring the temperature down. He's also been consuming masses of, well, I hate to say it, but it's almost urine-colored water or drink. It obviously contains a lot of electrolytes, carries his own supply around with him, Sampras. Spadea is just not making first impressions enough. He's really got to get in there first. And he was president of that company, the man who spun the coin.
Well, that's quite a shot.
Well, a mishit return and a steered volley from Sampras. But of course, the way he's been playing and the way Spadea has been playing, one would have assumed that that was enough.
So again, a glimmer of a chance here for Spadea.
Just long.
Comes a much greater chance, of course, on the second serve. Well, terrific stuff from Spadea. And from the applause in that box, you may very well be right in that it is Vincent Senior.
Well, Sampras trying to find the angle of all angles there, but...
Break point. Well, that's a huge second serve, followed by a huge forehand.
Yes, a few whistles there because it was very close to the line, but it was good, the second serve. What I did find strange was Sampras taking as much speed off the first serve. He could well have served an ace, and yet he was not attempting to.
That's good play.
Wonderful coverage this by Sampras. We didn't quite see the movement there that he's blessed with. But the approach to the backhand volley was so silken, panther-like.
Coming up with a heavy kicker again there, really wide out to the backhand. But have a look at yourself. Just, you know, the way Sampras is moving around the court. Mind you, we'll probably get into the press conference and he'd tell us, what are you talking about? I was right as rain.
No, I think you've actually got something. I think there might well be. I mean, the fact that he went off the court during the match anyway. He may well be just feeling, have a little bit of tummy trouble.
Fourth ace from Spadea. Again, placement rather than pace.
This might be a concessionary game by Sampras.
Yes, now that it's 30 love, it might be a swing game. He'll go for it. Not bust a gut if he doesn't make it. Spadea makes it in a big way. Well, he's left us with one or two impressions. 5-4, Sampras. So Pete Sampras, possibly an ailing Pete Sampras, coming out to serve for the match. So he'd love to wrap it up very quickly here. Again, taking on masses of liquid in the changeover, using an ice towel. It is hot today, 85 degrees, 80% humidity, but nothing that he's not used to living in Florida, as indeed both he and Spadea do. 5-4, second set.
15 all.
I think he'd give a lot for 4 first serve winners.
Yes, wouldn't we all at this sort of stage? But he's had a pretty comfortable ride up until this stage of the tournament. It's only even Ivanisevic who's got here with the loss of fewer games.
He just seems to me to be going for broke, doesn't he, on his shots now?
Almost seems to have an unfair weight advantage.
4-2.
Eighth ace from Sampras.
All issues, all abuse, warning, Spadea.
Mr. Spadea gets a warning for belting the ball that came back off the backstop into the crowd. First match point saved. Not a lot of movement there from Sampras. So this could be quite a big point. It seems strange, doesn't it?
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether he uses the kicker here, which is what he did in the last game, or whether he goes for the big one.
Oh, he made it, and he'll be very relieved, I think. Delena's delighted, big smile from her. But again, the way he's trudging slowly to his chair suggests to me that all is not well with Sampras. Yeah, yeah, he's not fully fit. Now we hope it's just a stomach bug that will quickly resolve itself overnight, get some Imodium into him or something like that, and he'll be a lot better. But at the moment, you know, I believe actually Sampras was almost on a tightrope at the end of that match, and that Spadea could have broken back. He might well have won.
Yes, I think there might be something. It may just, of course, be the heat, and that allied to a bit of tummy problem. But as we can see there, the first serve percentage from Sampras didn't exactly help his cause particularly. But it was really his winners, the unforced errors, not particularly high from either of them, but the winners certainly from Sampras making all the difference. And he really did seem to be playing the whole match within himself. I think it was a disappointing display by Spadea. I think he's got more talent than that. He chose not to show any variety in his game. That's something he certainly needs to pick up, a bit more spice. But he really didn't have the guns that Sampras did. It's more of a middleweight contest against a heavyweight, really, or perhaps even lighter weight than that.
So Eurosport News is next, then some sumo, and you saw the schedule for our coverage tomorrow. See you then. From Fred McMillan and David Mercer, bye-bye.